To what extent should your company be radically transparent, both internally with your coworkers and colleagues and externally with your customer? Today we're going to talk about those two scenarios and try to answer that question for you, at least give you the tools so you can answer it for yourself. How you doing? My name is Matthew Ewell from Leading with Nice, where we want to help you inspire others, build loyalty, and get results. So back in the 90s, a gentleman named Ray Dalio, who was the founder, owner of Bridgewater Associates, a consulting firm, introduced this idea that anybody at any time in the organization could share their thoughts in the company, a process, etc., etc. It was welcome, invited, and encouraged. Now, we have some great solutions and great processes we use right here at Leading with Nice, and some of our clients use as well, that encourages a version of radical transparency that I think is great. I'll share that with you in a moment. However, I want to talk about what it looks like to be radically transparent with your customer or your client, and should you be, to what extent? Now, the question I always ask, and I ask clients, is this: with what you're deciding to be transparent about, will the information, is it your intention to help the customer in their understanding, or is it to hinder their understanding? And you might be thinking, well, why would we ever want to hinder their understanding? Well, sometimes because your process or policy you have implemented or even have been forced to implement might make a customer or client decide this isn't the right solution for us. But it may not actually impact their experience or the purchase decision they're going to make. So you'd want to not be as transparent on some of the finite policies or details, because it won't actually help your customer make a great decision for them. However, you might want to be transparent because you're seeking to avoid a problem down the line, or you want to be very clear about who this product is for and who it's not. One customer I work with, often they get comments on social media about how expensive their product is and how it's unaffordable, and how people can't, not all people can afford it. Well, that's on purpose. They know who their customer is, they know their clientele, and that's the right decision for them. They're being radically transparent with their pricing. So I want to show you this company called Everlane, not the band. And Everlane is a clothing company, and they are radically transparent with their pricing model. They list right on their website. You can see it: materials, labor, transport, duties. Now, they are using this because the same product or a similar product at another store costs a lot more. And I guess part of this is their value proposition is, yes, they're making money, but not nearly as much money as those scoundrels down the street, I suppose. But I think this is a great example of taking that radical transparency to the extreme. Now, on their website, they also have lots of great information about why they do this, how they link it to their values and beliefs, and it really makes sense. And it very clearly articulates what kind of customer they're looking for. So how might you use this for your company? Now, of course, there's lots of different types of companies and organizations out there, so it'd be hard to give examples for each. But perhaps maybe you have, if you're an entertainment venue, you have an arrival process, and you're going to be radically transparent about how much time that will take. You want people to understand that when you arrive, you're going to have to go through this process, et cetera, et cetera. Airlines and airports haven't really done this well. They say, arrive an hour and a half before. But really, wouldn't it be helpful to understand that they want you arriving at that time because security will take 50 minutes. Typically, we find you might want to, your gate might be far away. It'll take 10 minutes to get there. Really helping the customer understand it. Maybe you're a local restaurant and you source all your meat locally. So you'll want to be radically transparent about what are you paying those local beef and meat food producers, farmers. That could be a really helpful thing for your organization to be radically transparent. However, maybe you do not want to be radically transparent because your competitive edge is a uniqueness, and it's not necessarily so much about your unique value proposition that you can charge a lot of money for because there's supply and demand, you may not want to be radically transparent on pricing or what you're paying for certain raw materials in that situation. The question is, are you being radically transparent? Are you hindering or helping by being radically transparent? So, when we speak about internally, there's a great book by Kim Scott called Radical Candor, which I think does a great job of explaining how you can be radically transparent. We also use and teach a system called EOS here at Leading with Nice, the Entrepreneurial Operating System, which leads to great inclusiveness, co-development, co-ownership, which is what you want in your organization, which I'd love to talk to you about and teach you how you can do that internally. Maybe we'll do another video on that later on. But for now, hopefully this has been helpful for a few thoughts on radical transparency in a customer-facing arena, and is it right for you? For more on this, visit leadingwithnice.com. Reach out to us. I'd love to speak to you more about it. Have a great day, and until next time, I'll talk to you then.